Welcome to Harmony Tuesday. Today we're talking about Pied Piper by BTS. Finally, we're getting to this song. I didn't realize I hadn't done it before. I was so surprised. But I'm glad that I'm doing it now because I love this song. Anyways, the harmony level I would say is an 8 out of 10. Yes, there is a lot going on. A lot going on in this song. And I would totally recommend you check out a hidden vocals version because there's literally so much going on. I cannot even talk about all of this, or it would probably take like 2 hours because then I'd get lost in all the beautiful details and we would there might be no end to it. In this song, the hidden vocals are mainly done by Jimin, JK, and Hobi, as is usually the case, but they're working hard in this song. And Jimin, I want to say, here is focused very much on the high harmonies. He usually is, but because that is one of his strengths, he's very good at that and he can fill something that most of the other guys can't. But usually we don't just have high harmony Jimin, we also very often have somewhere in the middle harmony Jimin, and especially when he's doing his own parts, we also often have low harmony Jimin or in his solo songs. But here he's very much focused on doing high harmonies, and almost solely high harmonies. What sticks out, as I've already hinted at, we have tons of harmonies throughout all parts. And yes, there are rap parts in this song. And very often in rap parts, when there's lengthier rap parts, there's not a lot of harmonizing going on. But in this case, there's harmonies all over the place. And it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. And I'm so glad I'm finally covering Pied Piper. Yes, let's continue. In the verses, we mostly have ad-libs and high harmonies. We don't have low harmonies that much. There's a reason for that, because in the chorus, they're singing very high in the main vocals. So we mostly have low harmonies. So it's kind of a little switcheroo going on. The high harmonies with the fairly low vocals versus the low harmonies with the high vocals. It's very clever, BTS. They're just smart on top of exceptionally talented. In the pre-chorus though, we have both lower and higher harmonies. I think that makes a very nice transition to the switcheroo thing. Again, they're very smart. Another thing that sticks out to me is during Yoongi's verse, we have some very beautiful high harmonies. Thanks to JK. He's very good at doing harmonies. And I point that out in like at least every other analysis video that I do at length. So I'm sorry if you're tired of that, but JK is just, I want to impress on you how good he is at doing harmonies. It's not as simple as he makes it look. I just want to put that out there. He makes it look like it's the easiest thing in the world. It's not. Not, at least not to the degree that he doesn't. Let's get to Secret Gems. In the bridge, we have a beautiful low harmony. I'm not entirely sure if it's JK or Hobi. For some reason, when it's low harmonies, but they're not low, I often have a hard time deciding which of those two it is. Because if it's like medium low, as this one is, it's well within JK's range. He could easily do it too. Because when it's like low, it's clearly Hobi who will be doing the harmony, because he is, if we go by classical definitions, he's a baritone and JK is a tenor. He cannot reach as low as Hobi can. But since this is a mid-low one, it could be either. So if you feel like you know who it is, or if you have an idea who it might be, you're leaning more towards one than the other, please tell me. I would love your input. Next secret gem. In the last chorus, JK is doing some amazing runs. I think runs are actually really difficult. especially if you want to do multiple different ones and you want to do them to a skill level that especially JK and Jimin can do them. I find runs practically not doable. I'm very, very bad at them. And I know this is something that I as a vocalist still need to work on, but they do them in a way that makes it sound so effortless. And in this case, JK does. Just wanted to point that part out because he does it in a lot of BTS songs. And I still have to really find an area in singing where he is really not as well rounded as he is in every other area that I've discovered until now, because I feel like in the last few years he has also worked a lot on his chest voice, which might have been a tiny bit not quite as amazing as the rest of his vocal abilities before, like when he was a kid pretty much still. So he keeps working on what might be, you can't actually call it weaknesses, because he's at a level where nothing is really a weakness, but where he still has strengths, and runs are definitely one of his strengths. I used to think that once upon a time his chest voice was not one of his strengths. I still think his chest voice is not his strength, but it's definitely not a weakness either. Not at this point where he's worked on it. The next one is honestly just so cool, and you definitely need to listen to a hidden vocals version to hear that part. So you probably remember that in the chorus we have the oh, 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 oh. And I'm not sure I did that entirely in the right key, but Jimin is doing that. And then we also have another vocalist doing it an octave below that. In the first chorus we have JK doing that an octave below Jimin. And then the part you do not hear is Hobi does it an octave below that still. So he's 2 octaves below Jimin, 1 octave above the other singer. I just love how many layers there are to their vocals, and how you actually can do some digging and you'll always find something new and something you were not aware of before. And that's part of the beauty of BTS's songs, and especially of songs like Pied Piper or Microcosm, Louder Than Bombs, what else? Boy With Love, that have tons of harmonies in them. You will always keep discovering something new, and that is part of the beauty of a lot of BTS's songs, in my opinion. The last secret gem is that in the choruses, Jimin is doubling whoever is singing the high part. So in the first chorus, it is Jimin who sings the high part. It's very, very, very obvious. But in the next one, in the Taechin chorus, Jimin is still in the backing vocals singing exactly what the main vocalist is singing, like the high part that the main vocalist is singing. He's very, very good at singing high, and he blends very well with other vocalists. As I've already mentioned, he's kind of this complementary voice type that JK and Hobi are too. They can be blended very well with every vocalist, and that's why they do most of the backing vocals of BTS throughout the entire discography. And we're talking about backing vocals and harmonies, not necessarily about ad-libs or like the rap parts where there is doubling and stuff like that going on there. So Jimin does that throughout the entire song for the choruses, for the high parts. I just thought it was worth pointing out because I was not aware that he was blended in with the other singers. And I think you need to actually check a hidden vocals version to hear it. I don't think you can hear it otherwise. Because as I already said, it blends very well. And obviously since it's backing vocals, it's not as loud. I just think that I praise JK a lot for his vocals. Everyone praises JK a lot for his vocals. He deserves that praise. He is one of the best singers in my opinion. But I also think that Jimin deserves more praise as a vocalist than he is getting. That's why I occasionally like pointing out these specific Jimin moments, because he's a very good singer. He might not have originally had that big amount of innate talent that JK has, but Jimin is a very hard worker and he has a beautiful voice. So he got himself to where he is today with a lot of hard work. And of course, he was blessed with a beautiful vocal tone. This is not a given either. But he is a very skilled vocalist too, and he has an insane range. And I feel like we do get to see a lot of his high range, as we get to see here. And I praise him a lot for that. And sometimes when occasionally, seldomly, a song comes along where he sings low, I praise him for that too, because it sticks out when he does it. But I just want to say that I am a big fan of Jimin's vocals, not just because he has a very pleasant vocal tone, and because he has really managed to make his voice unique through the tools that he uses, like the vocal toolbox that he makes use of, and the vocal choices that he makes, but also because he really has grown so much as a singer, and he has developed such a range of skills in general, that I really do look up to him as a vocalist, because I think that I have a good ear for music, but that doesn't necessarily always translate to also being able to sing super well. So while I admire JK, this is more an admiring from afar. But I think that Jimin, that is more along things that like feel a little more within reach for me, because I do work hard, and I was maybe not always the greatest. I'm maybe not as infallible as performing in a live setting as JK is. And I don't know, I just really look up to Jimin in that regard, because his transition from a good vocalist, which he was at the beginning, to an outstanding vocalist, which he is now, has been very audible for those who want to listen. And it gives me hope that I can go from the good-ish vocalist that I am now to a very skilled and outstanding vocalist someday too. That sounds so sappy. I should probably cut all of that. But it is the truth. My truth. With that, I do not want to put down anything about Jimin. I do not want to say that I am as good as Jimin, or I'm comparable to Jimin. But he feels more relatable to me than someone like JK, honestly. Since we are at Pied Piper, should you be studying or working right now? Just kidding. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you soon again in another Harmony Tuesday video.